Hello, my dear students. I am Monica Kashyap. I am currently working in SKS International Gurukul as PGT Biology. Today, I will discuss chapter 2, that is biological classification. If you find any difficulty in understanding any topic, you can tell me. Please listen this video till last slide and keep motivating me by sharing and liking my videos. I will upload more videos for you. Let's start chapter. Firstly, you should know what is biological classification. So, biological classification is the scientific procedure of grouping the organisms according to certain similarities and dissimilarities. So, there have been so many attempts to classify living organisms since ancient times. Aristotle was the earliest to attempt a scientific basis of classification. He used simple morphological characteristics to classify plants into herbs, shrubs, and trees. Let me give brief detail about herbs, shrubs, and trees. Herbs is a short-sized plant with soft green delicate stem without woody tissues. For example, tomato, wheat, paddy, grass. Shrubs are medium-sized woody plants taller than herbs and shorter than trees. Example, rose, jasmine, lemon, tulsi. Trees are big and tall plants. They have very thick, woody, hard stems called trunk. So, Aristotle also classified animals into two groups. First is anima, second is anema. Anema means with red blood cell, anema means without red blood cells. So, there a proper need for proper system of classification was felt. So we will discuss here about importance of classification. First is from one or two organism of a group you can get information of whole group, and classification helps in identification of new organism. It helps in knowing the relationship between the different groups of organisms, and organism of past cannot be studied without a proper system of classification. And last is all kinds of organism do not occur in one locality. They have different habitat and different localities. Next is classification system. There is three classification systems. First is artificial system of classification. Second is natural system of classification. Third is phylogenetic system of classification. Firstly, I will discuss about artificial system of classification. So, it is the ordering of organisms into groups on the basis of known evolutionary features. Example, the grouping together of plants according to the number and situation of their stamens, styles, stigmas rather than their evolutionary relationships. It involves only one or two morphological characters for grouping of organisms. It was adopted by Pliny the Elder for animals on the basis of their habitat, example land, air and water. Firstly, artificial system of classification was given by Aristotle. Next is natural system of classification. This system of classification of organisms is according to a relationship based on descent from a common ancestor. In this classification, the organism is classified on the basis of their vegetative characters, which are permanent and do not change with the environment. This system employs several morphological characters for grouping of organisms. The first natural system of classification was proposed by Bentham and Hooker. Third classification is phylogenetic system of classification. It is based on the evolution of life and shows the genetic relationships among organisms. It generates trees called cladograms, which are group of organisms that include an ancestor species and its descendants. Classifying organisms on the basis of a descent from a common ancestor is called phylogenetic classification. Now, next is kingdom system of classification. We have 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 kingdom systems. Firstly, we will read 2 kingdom system. Linnaeus, the father of taxonomy system, divided all the living organisms into 2 kingdoms, and these are Plantae and Animalia. He classified these Plantae and Animalia in 2 groups on the basis of following observations. Firstly, he observed presence and absence of cell wall, and second, he observed mode of their nutrition. But there were certain objections against 2 kingdom system. First was, the first formed organisms were neither plants nor animals. Second is, fungi do not show similarity with structure, physiology and reproductive system of plants. Then three kingdom system was proposed by Ernest Haeckel in 1866. He separated Protista from Plantae and Animalia on the basis of lack of tissue differentiation. But there was also some objections against three kingdom system, that were, he did not separate prokaryotes and eukaryotes, and he put both multicellular and unicellular organisms in Protista kingdom. Then Copeland in 1956 proposed four kingdom system. He created Monera group separate from Protista, Plantae and Animalia. Next is five kingdom system. It was proposed by R.H. Whitaker in 1969. He created fungi as separate kingdom. So there are five kingdoms. First Monera, second Protista, third fungi, fourth Plantae and then Animalia. The main criteria for classification of five kingdom system was difference in cell structure, modes of nutrition, thallus organization, reproduction and phylogenetic classification. See here, I tried to show you all five kingdoms photos together. First is Monera, it includes bacteria. Then next is Protista, and then fungi, then Plantae, then Animalia. Okay. First is Monera. The kingdom Monera includes all prokaryotes such as bacteria, mycoplasma, actinomycetes, cyanobacteria, which is also known as blue-green algae. Now, what are the features or characteristics of Monera? First, they are unicellular prokaryotes. They have ability to fix nitrogen into useful nitrates. Their cell wall contains peptidoglycan or murein. Membrane-bound cell organelles are not present in this group Monera. They show various types of nutrition like saprophytic, parasitic and chemoautotrophic. Their DNA is naked, means nucleoid, and mitotic spindles are not present in this group. The flagella, if present, that is single stranded, and their protein is called flagellin. Let me give you some knowledge about bacteria. Bacteria are most abundant microorganisms, means they can be found everywhere. Bacteria reproduce by asexual and sexual methods. Firstly, they were discovered by Anton von Leeuwenhoek in 1675. Bacteria show autotrophic as well as heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Extra chromosomal self-replicating DNA segments of bacteria called plasmids. Because they have no proper nucleus, so their nuclear material or genetic material is spread throughout the cytoplasm. So they have extra chromosomal self-replicating DNA segments called plasmids. Bacteria can be found in various shapes. First is spherical shape, also known as coccus. Second is rod shaped, means bacillus. Third is comma shaped, vibrio, comma shaped. Spiral shaped means like a screw. Okay. So, and if we talk about the structure of bacteria, then Bacteria has five essential structures component: a nucleoid DNA, ribosomes, cell membrane, cell wall, and some sort of surface layer which may or may not be an inherited part of the cell wall. Structurally, there are three architectural regions. Appendages means attachment of the cell to the surface in the form of flagella and pili, a cell involved consisting of capsule, cell wall, and plasma membrane, and a cytoplasmic region that contains the cell, chromosome, and ribosome, and various sort out of inclusions. Bacteria do not vary in shape and size. Next is Archaebacteria. Archaea means ancient, bact means road. Archaebacteria are special since they live in some of the most harsh habitats such as extreme salty areas, hot springs, and marshy areas. Okay, Archaebacteria has different cell wall structure due to which they can live in most harsh habitats or conditions. Their cell wall lack peptidoglycan, the wall composed of non-cellulosic polysaccharides. First is they are halophiles. They are found in extreme saline environments. Example: Halobacterium, Halococcus. Second is thermoacidophiles. These archaebacteria can live in extreme heat and acidic pH around 2 environment. Under anaerobic conditions, these organisms oxidize sulfur to sulfuric acid. Third is methanogens. These are anaerobes. They live anaerobically in gut of several ruminants such as cow, buffaloes, goat, etc. These bacteria help in fermentation of glucose. So, these bacteria produce biogas from the dung of these animals. Here, I have shown you some examples of eubacteria like E. coli, Salmonella typhus, Heliobacter pylori, etc. Now, we will talk about eubacteria. So, dear students, eubacteria is also known as true bacteria or blue-green algae because there is presence of rigid cell walls. That's why they are known as true bacteria. And they possess flagella if they are motile. They are unicellular, colonial or filamentous algae, and their colonies are surrounded by gelatinous sheaths. So, the chlorophyll A is present in cyanobacteria. That's why they are photosynthetic autotrophs. But chemosynthetic autotrophic bacteria also oxidize various inorganic substances such as nitrates, nitrites, ammonia, and use the released energy for their ATP production. They play great role in recycling nutrients like nitrogen, phosphor, iron, and sulfur. Bacteria reproduce mainly by binary fission, or you can say fission and spore formation, but sexually it reproduces by conjugation with the help of pili. Okay. Next is heterotrophic bacteria. They are most abundant in nature. The majority are important decomposers, means they most of them are decomposers. Many of them have a significant impact on human affairs. So they are helpful in making curd from the milk and production of antibiotics. They are also helpful in fixing nitrogen in legume roots. Some are pathogens causing damage to human beings, crops, farms, and pets. Example of disease caused by these heterotrophic bacteria are cholera, typhoid, tetanus, and citrus. Next, I will discuss about mycoplasma. Mycoplasma are organisms that completely lack a cell wall. They were discovered by Rox in 1898 in pleural fluid of cattle suffering from pleuropneumonia. The organisms are often called MLOS means mycoplasma like organisms and PPLOS means pleuropneumonia like organisms. They are smallest living cells till now and they are pathogenic in animals and plants. They cause pleuropneumonia in domestic animals and mycoplasmal urethritis in humans. Their sizes range from 0.1 to 0.5 micrometers. They can survive even without oxygen and their DNA is naked because they do not have absence of histones and ribosomes are of 70th type. Now I will discuss about uses of bacteria. Bacteria are natural scavengers means feed on dead bodies. So they obtain their nutrition by decomposing dead bodies, dead plants and animal excreta. They are used in fermentation process for vinegar and yogurt making. They are helpful in retting of jute and coconut plant fibers. After then, these plant fibers are used for making ropes and gunny bags. The genus Streptomycin has many species that can be used to produce antibiotics. Some antibiotics are neomycin and streptomycin. Bacteria play important role in different steps of nitrogen cycle. Some important bacteria in nitrogen cycle is Clostridium, Azobacter, Rhizobium, Bacillus, Nitrosomnas and Nitrosobacter. Here you are seeing pictures of first is Streptomycin, second is Nitrosomnas and third is Pseudomonas. Okay, so these are the pictures. You can see bacteria easily. Okay. Here I will discuss about harmful effects. Some saprophytic bacteria like lactobacillus they spoil the milk and milk products. Food poisoning occurs due to production of toxins by some bacteria like Clostridium botulinum. They cause botulism which can kill humans by respiratory paralysis. Bacteria are also responsible for plant disease. For example, citrus canker that I have already given this example in previous slides. Okay, and soft rot in carrot plants, blight disease in rice plants. In humans, bacteria also cause disease. For example, cholera, gastric ulcer, tuberculosis, gonorrhea, syphilis, and in animals they cause disease which is caused by anthracis. Okay. Our next topic is protista. Okay, I discussed till now about bacteria, cyanobacteria and eubacteria, archaebacteria, heterobacteria. These were the parts of Monera kingdom. But now next kingdom is protista. Ernest Haeckel in 1866 discovered protista and he separated protista from plantae and animalia. So these are unicellular and colonial eukaryotics. They primarily aquatic forming planktons. They are planktons and they can live in moist places. They form link with others, plant, animal and fungi. Their cell body contains well-defined nucleus and membrane-bound organelles. They have cilia and flagella. You can also see in the picture that long threads are flagella and small threads are cilia. If flagella is present, that will be 11 stranded with 9 plus 2 arrangement of microtubules. Okay, they reproduce asexually and sexually. Mode of nutrition may be photosynthetic, saprophytic, parasitic or holozoic, and locomotion may either occur by the pseudopodia in amoeba and cilia in paramecium, wriggling in sporozoans and non-flagellates and mucilage propulsions in protista like diatoms. Okay, next is Next is chrysophytes. It includes two groups. First is diatoms, second is golden desmids. Diatoms occur in aquatic and moist terrestrial habitats and also known as chief producers in the oceans. They pile up at the bottom of water reservoirs and form big heaps called diatomaceous earth. They are microscopic unicellular organisms of different shapes like circular, semicircular, triangular, boat-shaped. The body wall of the diatoms is made up of cellulose impregnated with glass-like silica. The cell wall has two overlappings, half like a soap box. Diatoms are variously colored. They do not possess any flagella except in their reproductive stage. Chloroplasts are yellowish brown to greenish brown. They contain fucoxanthin that provide brownish ring. Food is reserved in the form of oils and leucozins. They reproduce asexually by binary fission and sexual reproduction varies from isogamy to oogamy. Example Navicula amphipleura. What are the importance of diatoms? So first is they are mostly photosynthesizer, they make their own food, and second is their deposits are often accompanied by petroleum fields used as cleansing agent in toothpaste and metal polishes, used as insulation in refrigerator boilers and furnaces. They are also used to make soundproof rooms and they are very good pollution indicators and also used in filtration of oil and syrups. Next is golden algae or desmids. ठीक है, these are unicellular green algae. Sexual reproduction occurs by conjugation. Usually they found in fresh water and act as indicator of polluted water. First picture is of diatoms and second picture is of golden algae. Next is dinoflagellates. They are mainly marine and photosynthetic organisms. There are about 1000 species of photosynthetic protists. The general features of dinoflagellates are they are most important phytoplanktons. Most of them are marine but some occur in freshwater. They appear yellow, green, blue, brown or red color depending on the main pigment present in their cells. Their cell wall is made up of cellulose and their nucleus is bigger, so it is named as mesokaryon. Gonialex and Gymnodinium grows in large number in seas and make water look like red and they form red tides. Toxins released by such large numbers may even kill other aquatic animals. Cells usually possess two flagella which are of different types also called heterocont. The cells possess an osmoregulatory organelle called pusule which superficially looks like a contractile vacuole. Next is Euglena. See below given picture, it is of Euglena. They have long thread-like structures called flagella. They are unicellular flagellates which possess pellicle instead of cell wall. Pellicle is a thin layer supporting the cell membrane in various protozoas. So there is presence of pellicle. Euglena perform creeping movements by expansion and contraction of their body. This phenomenon is called metaboly and they are mostly photosynthetic. They act as predator in the absence of sunlight. Euglenanoids reproduce by longitudinal binary fission under favorable condition and the palmellous stage is found during unfavorable condition. For example, Euglena and Paranema. Third category is slime molds. They are saprophytic protists. They are acellular and cellular types. There are about 600 species of slime molds. They are found in moist terrestrial places which are rich in decaying organic food. Example Physarum and Fuligo. Anton de Berry in 1887 he related them to animals called Mycetozoa and related them to fungus called Protistian fungi due to their Protistian nature. Their body is covered with mucellus having gelatinous consistency. They have no chlorophyll. They are surrounded by plasma membrane and the spores have cellulosic cell wall. Both mode of reproduction occurs in them. They are like protozoa in amoeboid plasmodium stage and similar to true fungi in spore formation. Next is protozoans. These are unicellular protista with animal-like behavior. They were first studied by Leeuwenhoek in 1677. Protozoan protista may be aquatic, terrestrial or parasites. They can cause several diseases in humans and animals. General features of these protozoas, these are very uh, small and colorless. Locomotions occur with the help of finger-like pseudopodia, or they may have hairy cilia and flagella. All the protozoans are heterotrophs and live as predators or parasites. Respiration occurs through general surface of the body. Reproduction in these protozoas occurs through binary fission, multiple fission or budding, but sexual reproduction occurs by syngamy and conjugation. There are four major groups of protozoa. First is amoeboid, second is flagellated, third is ciliated, fourth is sporozoa. So, first I will discuss about amoeboid protozoans. They live in freshwater, seawater as well as moist soil. Their nutrition is holozoic. They can move and capture their prey by putting out pseudopodia. Flagella may be present in some developmental stages. Asexual reproduction occur by binary and multiple fission, spore formation and budding. But sexual reproduction occurs by syngamy. Example amoeba, entamoeba. Okay. Now second group is flagellated protozoa. Either they are either free living or parasitic. They have they form symbiotic association. Okay, and their nutrition is holozoic, saprophobic and parasitic. Asexual reproduction occurs same by binary fission and sexual reproduction observed in some forms only, not all the forms. So various species of these protozoa cause disease in humans. Example trypanosoma, leishmania, giardia and trichomonas. Okay, next is protozoa. Next is ciliated protozoa. They are aquatic, free living and actively moving organisms. They have small ejectable trichocyst cells that are used for defense, and osmoregulation can be maintained by contractile vacuoles. Their nutrition is holozoic. And asexual reproduction occurs through binary fission, budding, but sexual reproduction occurs through conjugation. Example paramecium, opalina, verticella, podophyra. Okay. Last group of protozoa is sporozoa, protozoans. They include organisms that have an infections spore-like stage in their life cycle. Example plasmodium. Okay, all these sporozoans are endoparasites. They live inside the body and they are pathogenic to us. Locomotory organs are absent and nutrition is parasitic or absorptive. Their body is covered with elastic pellicle and cuticle, and contractile vacuoles are absent in this case. In ciliated protozoa, they were present, but in this contractile vacuoles are absent. Asexual reproduction occurs by multiple fission and sexual reproduction occurs by syngamy. Life cycle may include two different hosts. First is plasmodium requires two hosts, female anopheles mosquito and human beings. So it is responsible for causing malaria in human beings. Okay. First picture is of amoeboid ant amoeba, and second picture is of flagellated protozoa means trypanosoma. Third picture is of ciliated protozoa means paramecium, and fourth picture is of malarial parasite, spore like structures. Okay. Our next kingdom is fungi. Fungi, they are achlorophyllous means they do not have chlorophyll. They are non-motile, and they exhibit the phenomena of alternation of their generations means saprophytic and gametophytic. They are heterotrophic in nature. Fungi form spores. They are non-vascular and eukaryotic organisms. Their cell wall is made up of chitin, and vegetative may be unicellular and composed of microscopic threads. These microscopic threads are called hyphae, and network of these hyphae is called mycelium. Their reserved food is glycogen. Mode of nutrition can be saprophytic, parasitic, or symbiotic. Reproduction may be vegetative, asexual, or sexual. Sexual state is referred to as teleomorph, and asexual state is referred to as anamorph. Fungi sexual cycle involves following steps. First, plasmogamy means fusion of male and female gamete occurs. Then, karyogamy means fusion of two nuclei. Then, third is meiosis in zygote to produce haploid spores. There is four categories under kingdom fungi. First is Phycomycetes, second is Ascomycetes, third is Basidiomycetes, and fourth is Deuteromycetes. First, Phycomycetes, they are found in aquatic habitat and on decaying wood in moist and damp places. Asexual reproduction in Phycomycetes occurs through zoospores which are motile and aplanospores which are non-motile. The mycelium is aseptate means they do not have cross walls in their thread-like structure hyphae, and they are coniocytic. Example, Mucus rhizopus albugo. Second is Ascomycetes. Ascomycetes are also known as sac fungi. They are saprophytic in nature. They can be parasitic and coprophilous means grow on dung. Asexual spores are called conidia. Sexual spores are called ascospores, and they are produced inside their fruiting body called ascocarps. Example, Neurospora, Aspergillus, claviceps. Third category is Basidiomycetes. It is also known as club fungi. The mycelium is branched and septate. They have cross walls in their hyphae. Vegetative reproduction is occur through fragmentation, and asexual spores are not found in this club fungi. Sexual reproduction is by two vegetative or somatic cells that forms basidium. Basidiospores are produced in basidium by developing a fruiting body called basidocarps. Example, agaricus. The below given picture is of basidium means the club fungi. Fourth category is Deuteromycetes. The fungi, it is also known as the fungi imperfect. Only vegetative and asexual phase is known. Mycelium is septate and branched. They are saprophytic as well as parasitic in nature. Example, Alternaria trichoderma. Now we have next kingdom, that is Plantae. Plantae are eukaryotic. They bear chlorophyll. That's why plants are able to form their own food. So they are photosynthesizer. Their life cycle is divided into diploid saprophytic and haploid gametophytic, which alternate with each other. Okay, half half. Kingdom Plantae includes algae, bryophytes, pteridophyta, gymnosperm, and angiosperm. We will discuss about all these in next chapters. Plant cells are surrounded by cell wall, which is made up of cellulose. Plants have tissue and organ system. They obtain their energy from sun through photosynthesis process. Plants reproduce both bisexually and asexually. They do not motile. They do not have motility. Kingdom Animalia. Okay, they are eukaryotic, multicellular, and heterotrophic. Plants were autotrophic, and these are heterotrophic means they have to depend on other organisms for their food requirements. Their mode of nutrition is holozoic and their reserve food is glycogen or fats. Sexual reproduction is occurs by copulation between male and female followed by embryological development. Most animals have ability to move. They can move easily. The animal cell contains cell organelles like endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi bodies, lysosomes, and many more. Organ systems are skeletal system, muscular system, digestive system, respiratory system, circulatory system, excretory system, and so on. Okay, this is all about kingdom Animalia. Our last topic is about virus, viroids, and lichens. Viruses are non-cellular organisms. They have inert crystalline structure. First time D.J. Ivanovsky recognized that there are certain microbes that are causing a mosaic disease of tobacco. Okay. In general, viruses that infect plants they have single-stranded RNA, and viruses that infect animals they have double-stranded DNA. Diseases caused by viruses are common cold, influenza, AIDS, smallpox, leaf rolling in plants, and curling in plants. If we talk about structure of the viruses, viruses have head, neck, and tail. Those bacteria which feeding viruses are called bacteriophages. They are usually double-stranded viruses, and the protein coat called capsid, which is made up of capsomeres, and these capsomeres protect the nucleic acid. These capsomeres are arranged in helical and polyhedral geometrical forms. Now, next is viroids. These viroids were discovered by Theo Diner. These are infectious agent cause potato spindle disease. Okay, and they are smaller than viruses. They do not have their protein coat. They are free RNA. Last is lichens. Lichens means symbiotic association between algae and fungi. The algal part is called phycobiont and fungal part is called mycobiont. They are good pollution indicators as they do not grow in polluted area. These were all about virus, viroids and lichens.